I'm a research economist at IFS in the education sector. Before joining IFS, I was a research assistant at another research centre called the Centre for Market and Public Organisation, based at the University of Bristol, working in similar things, working in the education area. So one of the things that attracted me to IFS was continuing work in education policy and the academic side of education. So all the projects I work on are quantitative. We're always looking to answer interesting questions with data sets, so survey data or administrative data that the government holds. The interesting questions that I work on are all around children's education and development. So I've done things right from early years. How does a child's month of birth affect their development? How does a parent's marital status affect children's development? And I'm now looking later in the education system to how teachers affect pupils. For example, how does teachers' pay affect how well pupils do in school? And also thinking about teacher education. How does the training that a teacher receives impact how effective they are, but also the costs and benefits in the system? So many of the projects follow a similar structure. They all involve some amount of data work, but also reading around the literature to get a really good sense of where your project fits in and how it contributes. So the stage, at any one time, you might work on a few projects. So you might do data work for one project in the morning, some reading for another project in the afternoon, and then you go on to writing up your results and then disseminating. So a typical week has some amount of contact with the outside world, as well as you sitting on your computer busily writing away. I work in the education team here at IFS. It's a relatively large team, and there's a mix between more senior academics and more junior research economists. And the nice thing is that there's a lot of interaction between the whole sector. It's an open plan office, and you're very free to ask questions to other members of staff, whether that's on previous academic literature or a certain command you're not sure how to use in our statistical software. So it's very open and very encouraging. One of the nice things about IFS is that it's very supportive. So the more junior members are encouraged to take forward research ideas, to follow their own research direction, and that's supported by the more senior academics here. I began at IFS in October 2009, and since then I have worked on a number of projects. Part of the way IFS has supported me is doing a part-time master's course in economics at UCL. So that was really good. I came with a broad sense of why certain economic techniques work, and doing the master's enabled me to really concretely learn and apply them to my own work. So that's been really, really helpful. But as well as the theoretical knowledge, most of the benefit of being at IFS has been interaction with other people, encouragement to go on particular courses and further your knowledge. There are a number of highlights. I've really enjoyed seeing projects through to completion and seeing how the results of your work influences policy and influences the wider debate. Another thing I've really enjoyed is seeing how a research economist can go from being a supporting member of staff to having their own ideas and developing them, going on to then submitting their own project applications. So I recently had some work funded by the Nuffield Foundation to look at the costs and benefits of different teacher training routes, and that's something I feel will be really important for policy. So it's been really nice to see that development. I'd encourage them to look at the IFS website and find out about the areas that the IFS work in. One of the things that attracted me to IFS was the huge range of things they do in such expert detail. Very interesting place to work. I think it would be good to be clear about why you want to work at IFS. And I think you have to have a certain quantitative nature. You have to be interested in how things work, why they work, understand economic principles really well. So I would encourage them to both think about their skills and think about what attracts them to IFS.